Walking in someone else's shoes. There's a quiet shift that happens the moment you pause your own momentum long enough to imagine the weight someone else carries. It's subtle, almost invisible, but it changes the way you move through the world. Thinking about somebody else in their shoes isn't just an act of empathy. It's a kind of temporary migration. You step out of your own patterns, your own assumptions, and into a life that isn't yours. Most of the time, we look at people and see only the surface. The expression they're wearing, the choices they've made, the fragments they reveal. But shoes tell a different story. They hold the imprint of every place a person has been. They carry the scuffs of mistakes, the dust of long days, the creases of decisions that weren't easy. When you imagine someone else's shoes, you're imagining the terrain they've crossed, terrain you may never see. It's easy to assume that empathy requires agreement or approval. It doesn't. Sometimes it's simply the willingness to acknowledge that another person's path has been shaped by forces you haven't felt. Their shoes might be too tight, worn thin, or heavier than they appear. They might be walking with a limp you can't see. They might be running from something, or toward something, or just trying to stay upright. Thinking about someone else in this way doesn't erase your own experience. It expands it. It softens the edges of judgment. It makes room for complexity. And in a world that often rewards speed and certainty, choosing to slow down and imagine another person's steps is a small act of rebellion. You don't have to know their whole story. You don't have to solve anything. You just have to be willing to look at their shoes, really look, and wonder what it feels like to walk in them. Sometimes that's enough to change everything.